Hello and good evening for this Wednesday, May the 7th, 2025. We have just finished watching the 11th episode of Survivor 48, titled Coconut Etiquette. But we're just getting started here on Super Mader Brothers Podcast, a live stream here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. You might be listening to us in audio version. I'm Dave Mader. We got a great panel here. Once again, we got Jaemeel Robinson and Becky Robinson.
Hey.
Hello, good felicitations. We got the great Jason R. Phillips. Hello, sir. Coming to us from, hey, did you see this one? I love the background. And, of course, the man from Hyrule himself, the Patriots fan all the way, it's Josh Foster.
Heyo.
Hello and good evening. We are here to talk all about this episode of Survivor 48 as Mary gets voted out here tonight. Spoilers, sorry. If you didn't know. And we're going to be breaking all this down, talking about this whole episode. And Jeff Mader might even be joining us. We'll see along the way to talk all about it. But it's another week. Another one bites the dust, as they say. And we'll get a lot to break down here. Jason, what was your take on this episode tonight? We haven't seen you in a few weeks, so maybe you can even weigh in on...
well, you know what they say. It's been a while. It was a fantastic episode. I had a great time with it tonight. It's been a solid couple of weeks. However, my fantasy game, I'm down to 3 of my 6. Mary played a great game, but she hit that Survivor moment where she got backed into a corner, and no amount of producer editing could make it seem like she was not 100% going home tonight. But we did see somebody flipped. We got 2 votes for Dan, as I called him in the pre-show, Joe. I really think that this season as a whole has been very solid, but I do agree with what was the lady who went home a few weeks ago? She's like, I'm gonna fight to the end.
I'll say
Chrissy
came once as the second person.
It's very kumbaya. Yeah,
Sure.
Chrissy, it's very kumbaya with all of the people who are in their close-knit group. And this week was the week to take Joe out if they're going to do it. Mm-hmm. Now I feel like the fate of the final 6 is sealed with at least Eva and Joe sitting with somebody, probably, if I was to guess, Camilla on the final 3. But it's great. I'm having a good time.
Jaemeel, how do you, are you feeling like the gameplay is living up to the hype this season?
Was there hype for this season?
I just even the hype that Jason just gave us, just saying he's enjoying this and feeling like this is a pretty good showing. Would you agree?
I think that this the last 2 episodes would have been a one episode in previous seasons. They would have combined both of them into one episode. So yeah, these 2 were transitional episodes, I felt, really. And hopefully next episode we see some kind of movement in terms of the remaining individuals. I don't understand really what is, you cannot wait till final 6 or final 5 to make a move.
Right. Because here against Joe, of course, yeah, right? Because Joe and Eva are clearly a duo.
Because either of them could win that immunity, right? And then if you're not in a good enough position, let's say you decide to get Shaheen out, and Eva and Joe know that you were responsible, then that means what's going to end up happening is Eva's going to give the idol to Joe, and then she's going to do safety without power, and you're going to have to eat, your rebellion tribe right then and there, be down to 2 people versus 3, or 2 versus what? It would be 2 versus 3, right? If Shaheen is still there, right?
Yes, I would concur with that, but they're not thinking this through, you're saying.
And then 3 people, you have Shaheen, Eva, and Joe, who could most certainly win that final 5 immunity. Certainly capable over Mitch, Camilla, and Jeff.
Oh wait, so that won't work. Hold on, we'll go like this.
Mhm.
Yes, Jeff Mader joining us. Hello, Jeff. With a new fresh haircut, apparently.
Yeah, that fresh haircut for a Leafs victory.
That's right.
Did they win again?
They won. Yes.
They won again. Wow, good job, Leafs. Maybe they go in the distance. Now, Becky, you've famously been a big fan here of Team Eva and Joe on this season. You know there was maybe this possible drama tonight that Joe was going to get blindsided and taken out here, but no,
Boo.
No.
it was Mary. But was there any part of you, just as a spectator of this season, going, well, maybe they'll make a big move here. Maybe this will be a big episode. You know, I can.
I really thought they were going to switch on Joe and they were going to pull Joe in, and then I was like, is Eva going to use her
What safety without power?
yeah tonight and then play it tonight? The challenge when Camilla when Joe was like, it was Joe and Camilla, right? Yeah, back to back, and I was cheering for Joe.
It's like she better not win. She better not win. She's a flipper. She's gonna flip on them.
Yeah.
It was so
And I'm like, oh, it's so two-faced that she invited Eva to like the dinner.
I think it would have been more two-faced if she brought Mary, in my opinion.
At least Mary would have something to eat, though.
She's gonna have what you said.
He's eating steak
said,
right
Mary's
now.
gonna- she's like, Mary's gonna eat a ponderosa. She don't have to worry about eating teriyaki.
That's true.
You know, but it's so hard. You know, it's the hardest part of the game to have to vote somebody
She ate
out.
like all their coconuts too. Like, wow.
Yeah, all their
Talking about
coconuts.
Kyle? You're talking about Jeff's talking about Kyle.
Oh, God.
It's just so hard.
I just can't believe that Mary was able to say one thing to Joe and have him just start spiraling. That was my favorite part of the whole episode. She's like, I'm gonna write your name down tonight, and then Joe's like, I don't know, man, why would she write my name down? Everybody's like, because she has one move and it's write your name down, and that's the move. And they're like, yeah, but she probably is like an idol. And they're like, what are you doing, buddy? I didn't expect a crash out from Joe. He's very easy to be thrown off his game. So if he
He's
doesn't
hungry.
win Survivor,
hungry?
because
He was
somebody's-
He's hungry. He did eat this
Yeah.
time.
it's like Shaheen getting real mad too. I feel like he's perma-hangry right now.
Hold
Eva's
on.
winning this game, guys. Like, I hate to break it to all of you, but she is winning. This chick has every advantage known to man under the sun, and she still gets taken on reward.
Yeah,
Like, he's still the
That would
same.
keep Joe and
as
Eva
a
apart,
strategy to contain Eva and Joe. This was but nothing happens in this episode. I was kind of let down by this result. They just voted out Mary because Mary was not winning this game. So who cares, right? Why vote her out at this stage? Like, you know, there's all this thing about don't trust her. I need to go over here to Josh Foster. We haven't checked in with Foster very much here, and you know, Foster has 2 active members in our draft.
Oh.
He has not been, he has 2 chances out of this final 6 now to win this game, and he hasn't been given enough credit. Josh, tell us how it is.
Well, I like to do my draft prep starting last year. I actually go to fly out to these people and interview with them on personal level. Dave, I got the inside connections, and they tell me their gameplay, and I sweeten them up to just because I tell them exactly who's going to win. So I make a deal to say they keep whatever you can tell me final 6, and that's how I get the insider track to still have 2 players left in this game off my draft. So I'm an honest guy, but I'm also a cutthroat guy when it comes to this draft.
Just like the Patriots, he slips some some extra things to guarantee victory, like deflated balls.
Whoa!
This
This is Deflategate all over again. I think there's some kind of scandal here in these picks.
I did not sign up for this, Jaemeel. I'm not happy with that comment, but we're going to keep it clean because I still have 2, and you only have 1 left in this draft, in this team, from the draft.
You can cry into New England's multiple Super Bowl victories that they have. Okay, you can take a little heat, right? Don't worry, man. Don't worry, you're good.
No, it's okay. The NFL had their draft a couple weeks ago, and I'm still I've been busy, but I'm dealing with so it's all good. But no, with regards to I wasn't able to watch last week's episode at the time. I watched it yesterday, and then I watched today. and they were both very, very boring. Like, I don't know how else to really say it, because it's not like, I understand that there's this core, but you know, this goes back to like, you know, when Chrissy was, you know, talking about how everyone, like, this is exactly what's going to happen, right? Where she kind of crashes out at Tribal, and it's going to get picked off one by one, and it's not, and you know, and Kyle's gotten too comfortable, right? In terms of like, I think he's waited too long. Like every time that they've shown the next episode, it's just like, it's, as we've learned in other seasons, it's misleading as to what actually is going to happen. You know, where, oh, there's a shift, there's gonna be this and that. Like, you know, like they talked about, oh, they're like Shaheen flipped, right? And they're just trying to cause chaos, right? So, and divide, right? So it's just, yeah, it could happen. But what I'm getting at is that like usually the second half of the season after the merge is where it's been the most exciting. I feel like the first half before the merge was, or just around up until the merge, was more exciting this season so far. Since the merge has been, other than David kind of crashing out, it's been a little bit more kind of tame. And you know, I keep thinking about what you've said, Jeff.
Are you standing at attention there, David? Jaemeel?
It's respect.
Yeah, David. Yes, standing. Yes. Or solidation.
I was like, is David about to rush the Tribal right now? Is he about to run in there and just take everybody out with a clothesline?
Like, it was like standing.
He's holding a grush.
He should have like taken his hat off. If he didn't have a hat, right? But if he had, you should have put it over.
Did he?
He did have a hat. He had a hat and he took it off.
But he did put it over his heart. I think he should have put it over his heart, and maybe even a salute. What would have been more David is he takes his shirt off and does a little like flexing while, you know,
he was flexing though. He had his arms like this.
I thought it was funny because when he stood up, I don't know who was right behind him, but his gate literally blocked that person, so you couldn't even see their face. And the whole show is designed so you can see everybody, you know. And when he stood up, he literally blocked a person from being seen on TV, and that was my favorite part about it.
Like I just, and so what I was gonna say is, Jeff, you said it before so many times. Everyone's just, you know, kumbaya, go lucky, you know, don't want to step on each other's toes, right? And they just want to play it safe to get to whatever point. And they're so worried about the jury votes that it's more about like the jury now decides you based on if they like you, completely different, more so than the actual moves you've made in the game.
Josh, I don't think they care about the jury votes and stuff. I think what's dictating people's play now is after the game, will this person be my friend?
No, that's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, they care about the personal relationships with everyone, rather than just doing like the decisions that would make it look good on a resume. Right? They're going for a personal resume rather than a game resume.
Hasn't that been a fact of life since Samoa though?
Yeah. That's that's a good season to point to where like that kind of changed.
That's a long time ago, that season.
Yeah.
So can you explain that? Like, why do you think that evolution of the game happened? Is that
we're gonna have to put out Loyal on the poster?
Jeff will love that. I love that. That's how you play Survivor. You change the game. You change the slogans.
Coming soon to 49, Out Loyal. There's gonna be a fourth tribe to start the season.
We're gonna add a fourth phrase to our logo. I love it.
Really? I got an idea. Let's do it. Here we go.
Oh, he's got some good Jeff. I got a lot of Jeff here. I could entertain myself.
Did he get his sushi tonight? Did he get
Notice only saw one person eat the sushi. Only one person.
Oh, Mitch.
I think it was Mitch who made like a California roll, like a
wrap.
Yeah, like a wrap. Everyone else was just into the teriyaki chicken
and the noodles.
Yeah.
Mitch liked the noodles.
Like, I remember a time when it's like, oh, you get like skewers and you get salt and pepper, and everyone's like, save the salt and pepper. We can eat coconut with the salt and pepper, or rice. We can season it so we can eat it. Right now, there's just prepaid meals. Pre-made meals like they get. Like, do they have like? I wonder if Ponderosa's changed and now it's just Chef Mike working. They just
Well, it could be like this is like a permanent like kind of facility they have for Survivor now. So I imagine like their Ponderosa area could even be somewhat dedicated because they're constantly well, how many like basically for 4 months or 5 months of a year they're using that place probably, and then the other half of the year they're not there physically.
they probably feed the production staff too, though.
It's probably just a hotel, like really, or a resort.
It's a resort. One day we'll all be able to go play Survivor at this place
Yeah.
in Fiji.
Yeah. When
just
they
go to
have
Fiji.
Survivor, they're gonna make it into like a resort where people can play fun games, team building games.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I'm Jeff Probst. I'm 80, and you can bring your entire corporate team over here to play Survivor, so you can, work together and build trust and perform to your very best. And at the very end, you appoint your corporate CEO as the lone survivor, of course, because you want that bonus.
Well, maybe not. But I just Googled Fiji Survivor tours, and there's definitely a Exploring Tourism Fiji page where you can take the Survivor Island tour, and it's a whole itinerary.
Hmm.
It's a Katu Kini Resort and Mana Island where they film Survivor. Castaway full day trip. Doesn't look like there's any games, but you do go to all the places that they film at.
Are you able to dig?
Are you able to dig?
Dig
You go to Smuggler's Cove. I wonder if you get to go on the Thai latte boat and he takes you around.
Yeah.
I gotta have something with Jeff saying dig, right? But if you could go there, if you could go to Fiji and like play the game of Survivor, and like, okay, let's say it wasn't $1 million, but it was at least enough money that you would still want to play for it.
$25 gift card.
Yeah,
What's your lower threshold? I do it for $50K. I do it for the price of the trip. Let's be real.
Come on.
like, okay. To live in a jungle overnight with bugs, sleeping on a beach, how much money do you have to be playing for it to be worth it? Whatever that number is for you. And then but you're not on TV. Okay, let's say that aspect's gone, but are you going to play that game very differently, you think, if you're not on TV?
Do you think that's why people play the game so badly now? Because it's like social media and the TV aspect of it. Like I don't want to be
fame.
looked at.
It's a form of.
I don't want to be looked at as a bad person. Like that is honestly what I see from these players over and over.
Look at what happened to Jerry.
While I've been on this show before, so I would definitely say so. Yeah.
Look what happened to Jerry and all the guff she got. That was just season 2, right? You would need a special type of person who doesn't care, like Russell. Like Russell,
we're the villains, the real villains, not villain behavior, but like doing dastardly stuff.
But Tony did lots of dastardly stuff.
I guess.
And Tony was a cop, though.
Tony, he was treasured. he won twice, and he's treasured as one of the best players of all time.
Yeah,
it's not like people don't look at him as a dirtbag, even though he did lots of dirtbag stuff.
He's a cop at the same time, though.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No, don't worry, guys. Don't worry. It's designed to be like this.
Tony.
Dig a hole in the ground and hide in the bushes like a weirdo.
We'll climb up and simply pick the papayas off the tree, simply walk down the ladder, simply go to camp, chop it up, and simply eat it. Simple as that.
That's Tony.
I'll be in my bunk.
All I'm saying is you don't need, like, in this most recent version of Survivor, it's like they all want to win the game based off, like, am I a nice person? Like, this Eva girl would not even be sniffing the end of this game in almost any other era of Survivor.
It's true.
Like, you don't think you think people are hesitant to want to vote her out because she's got the they don't want to piss off
Becky
and the other members of the audience,
Well,
Or maybe
Mitch too. I feel like Mitch is another one where people feel bad for him and don't want to be looked at as somebody going after somebody who has an affliction of sorts, right? So,
but now that they've picked off Mary, I feel like Mary was such a nothing vote for this episode, and such okay, fine, she's out of the game, but she wasn't going to win, so you've taken her off the board, and now you have this final 6 now. Like, what do you do now? Who's on the bottom? Because you got out. Sorry about that. You got out Star and and Mary now, who was the two players. The rest of them were like, well, we don't care so much about that. Maybe we'll get out Joe, maybe we won't. No, but if Joe wins immunity, Joe and Eva alone, like Jeff's right, all these advantages that they have between the two of them, plus their ability to win challenges. And Jaemeel was also making this point as well. I'm sorry, Jaemeel.
Okay.
It's a widely held view here, I think, on the panel tonight, that it's sort of like everyone's just afraid to take the shot. And then for what?
And not because they don't want to win the game, but because they don't want to like break up friendship or something. They look at it as friendship. Like that's how they play the game now. Like it's like, these are my friends. It's like, what? Yeah. Like, they are not. Like, you might see them at a party after, or you might go do an event together. But at the end of the day, you're playing a game for $1 million for like 26 days. Like,
and they all live in different states.
Yeah.
How often do these people, they see each other at conventions? I think that's pretty much it.
Well,
they're acting like they're family already.
Yeah.
Mitch and Eva doing a conference together for neurodivergent people.
It's just like, it's kind of like, it just gets to a point where, and I do think Probst is a big part of this, because he builds this whole atmosphere with the whole way the show is now, of like a cult. It's almost like a cult. It's what it feels like. And Jeff's the leader. And all the contestants like joined the cult really quickly. Like it's within 10 days. They're all like, this is my best friend. This is like, I could never betray this person. You know what? We have to vote Mary out because, it's her turn. It's like, what? Like, why are you guys playing the game? Like, how is this like entertaining for like the casual fan? Like that's
well, now that I'm watching it through that lens, it's much more entertaining. I like that theory a lot, because you could probably do a study on this and find that they're a little bit brainwashed with the way they're being treated, the duress that they're under, the fact that they have to get to know these people really quickly. I've never thought about it like that, and you bet your bottom dollar that's how I'm going to be watching Survivor from now on. Are they indoctrinated yet? Oh, then there they are.
It's day 7. Boom. By day 7, you see it, and then you're like, Probst has got them.
And Jeff,
control your body. Don't let it control you.
Jeff, little by little, they start revealing deep, dark secrets about themselves. Like, Jeff, hold on.
Yeah, that's the
like,
whole.
we know.
I'm a lawyer.
Yeah.
What?
You're a lawyer?
Oh yeah, we haven't talked. We need to talk about that.
No.
But on this theory of Jeff, I think Jeff's always like he's dangling food in front of him. He's like, I got tacos, I got cheesecake, whatever. And if you want it, you're gonna have to dig for it and earn it under my spell. And then by the end, they're just like, whatever you want, Mr. Probst. He's like, you get pizza and champagne as a final reward, and then he gives you a plane ticket and sends you home.
Yeah, instant hangover, by the way. If you eat pizza and champagne on a week-long empty stomach, you'll die. You'll be rolling around with a headache all afternoon. Most of this food is terrible to eat on an empty stomach.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And you have to go off and go to the bathroom in the woods, basically.
Yeah.
Severe gastrointestinal distress.
Yes.
This doesn't seem like a fun time.
And everybody's watching you because they think you're going to do something, underhanded.
Yeah. But Jeff's like, you got to dig if you want that.
His pain is your joy.
No, it's the other way around. Your pain is Jeff's joy. Make me look younger.
It's more like that. Okay. I do want to talk about that whole the reveal here of Kyle as the attorney to Camilla, who is a software engineer herself. And
she's a software engineer. She must be super smart.
For Discord.
Perhaps. But there is this reputation in Survivor and in Big Brother that attorneys and cops in particular have this ability as their professions to somehow cast magic spells on people, use their abilities of persuasion and detection, perhaps, to advance themselves in the final game, to give it perhaps a very good speech, a very good case for their argument, because they're used to making cases against people.
He's gonna go Matlock.
Matlock's gonna come in here and say, "Oh no, sir." That's not what I think happened at all.
But if
And
they knew you were a lawyer, and then they heard you giving a speech, then everyone's going to be suspicious of you because of course you're a lawyer. Of course you're good with the tongue. You can spit out those words, and
It's Vincent Gambino from.
Yeah.
from
it's Keanu Reeves.
I'm against for Final Tribal.
Kyle was claiming to be a teacher, and then he said, "Well, I did teach a few law classes, so therefore I am kind of a teacher. Therefore, I didn't lie, really."
Kyle, say that you're a stripper. Come on, just go all in.
Just like Katy Perry's an astronaut.
Yeah. Katy Perry's an astronaut.
But I think does Kyle come across as a credible teacher? If you didn't know him, perhaps if.
What would you say?
He probably had to TA as part of his law degree or something. Like I don't think he was a teacher.
Yeah, he probably
wasn't.
The guy did it for like a year. It's probably something involved with him becoming a lawyer where he had to go do it for a minute as a credit,
like a TA.
Right. He did go to jail for 30 days, right?
Right.
Traumatizing.
Wow.
No Game of Thrones.
No Game of Thrones. He had to get books brought to him and still got his law degree.
Like to me, like it was just like it was all window dressing for this episode to get to the final 6, and now that we're into the final 6, I'm like, someone's got to take a shot here. Mitch, I think, is like the like sort of like the easy target. Lame duck, would that be the correct term? Because unless Mitch wins immunity, but is Mitch going to win immunity?
I'm at the point at this season. I don't want Kyle or Camilla to win or do anything exciting.
Stop it. Camilla 2025.
I'm sorry, Jaemeel, but at this point, I just want Eva to win the season and it to be over. Like
I do like the new ripple though, that people are going to see this and be like, do you want to do Secret? Do you want to do Secret Alliance? Because I've never really seen a dynamic like this in 48 seasons. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but nobody's ever been able to keep up a ruse this long. That I've noticed or seen.
Okay, my belief is, and I mentioned it, that everyone knows that they're together, and it's going to be revealed in the episode. Like they're talking, they're like, nobody knows. You see Mitch standing right beside them. He's like, I know. And you just see flashback of like all the scenes of like
Mitch is behind them.
The shot widens and somebody's just standing in the bushes like.
Yeah, because those are the 3 final Siva members. They were all on the tribe from the beginning. So yeah, Mitch is like, we were all. I know they know each other. They talk to each other because I've been with them for this whole 20. What are they up to? Day 21 now. Yeah, day 21. 3 whole weeks they've been out here together. At this point,
that would be like halfway through a normal season of Survivor. That's where we're at.
Yeah. Well, it's been like this for the 40s, Jeff, as they've been at this one facility that. They've kind of the difficulty level has been lowered, right? It's got more. This is like Jeff Probst's like semi-retired version of Survivor, right? Where
it is much different.
Yeah, they're gonna do shuffleboard for a challenge soon.
Yeah.
Like when because
come on in, we're playing canasta. I don't care.
We got tacos.
Wait,
we're playing bridge tonight.
Yeah.
Like,
is that a worry? Is that a worry though? That when they do 50 and the people who didn't play in 40s, who played the old game, come to play this game, they're like, what the hell is this?
What the hell has happened to this world?
I hope Boston Rob plays and is like, I don't know what this is.
This is soft Survivor.
I feel like the last time Boston Rob came back, even for when he wasn't playing, but he was part of that, like where him and what's her face?
I don't love the idols or whatever. I love the idols.
They were like, what are you talking about? You're not trying to immediately murder your opponents? They're like, no, we got all these friendships.
We're friends.
Foster these friendships. Like, that's not the Survivor I played in the.
No, this isn't your daddy's Survivor, I guess, is what they'll say now.
Grandpappy
Survivor.
Jeff Probst's Survivor, where everyone's friends, and then they cry when they vote people off, and it's just.
But isn't this a prime setup for eventually we get like a pure villain who's just like
I hope so.
so like disturbed that people are like, what the hell is wrong with this person?
Do we just
Right?
want like a hardcore asshole to come in?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be
a mastermind that is devious, like a Hans, like a Russell.
One, the
This
first
show
one.
needs that.
Like
That-
first one, like Russell
Like a Russell. You need a
Like, you
Russell.
need a Russell.
We need a Russell.
And a
to
Russell
come and
could
run
do
roughshod.
better in this
He could do
game
better.
because it's so fast.
You're thinking
You know?
about the different Russell.
The first one.
You're thinking about like first Survivor. Russell Hanson's from Samoa, who was like,
Yeah.
I told you, was a rich guy who's like, I'm gonna win Survivor. All right.
And he got to final four twice, and also then his nephew played, and his nephew crashed out so hard. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
his brother also played Big Brother and punched somebody and got kicked out.
No, he headbutted Joe.
Headbutt.
Joe, I'm yelling at the screen.
Then he threatened Frank, and then they kicked him.
Yeah.
Frank, who was the son of Sid Vicious,
Wrestler.
who played that one. That's he played 2 seasons actually.
Yeah.
But I digress. Yeah. Foster, where do you stand on all this?
Once again, I feel like they're like I've said this many times over this past season. I feel like whether it's the challenges, it's like the idols. On a side note, I'm surprised that there isn't a second idol around. I don't know what that's about. There's only one with Ava right now, which seems really strange. That's never really happened before. There's only one floating around in final 8 or 9. And but yeah, with the challenges, like there's not even a sanctuary this season. They haven't done any of that.
No.
Like they haven't done the auction as of yet, at least. And they haven't advertised it. So I almost feel like what they've been trying to do is like, the last like 2 seasons or so. And then this one, like, I feel like, they're just trying a lot of different things in terms of like functions of the game to see what would work for 50. I just feel like it's again, like
These are like they're lab rats. Are you saying?
Kind of, yeah. Like I don't know what the answer is, because they've done this for so long, and they made a massive shift, and then there's been a lot of like hiccups and stuff, where players like I remember like what was it, last season when Rome was like literally telling Jeff like why his one idol, whatever it was a bad idea in tribal or something like that. He's like, this is not why this is like gonna work, right? So it just feels like they're just trying to like try all these different things. So there's no consistency. There's no, from a viewer standpoint, it's just kind of a bunch of mix and match of emotions. Other than the fact that the players are, as we've seen them in more recent seasons, being just like, like want to be friends and don't want to like betray people and hurt people's feelings and stuff. Like the gameplay, at least I feel like this season, last season was a little different. I felt like it was a little more cutthroat towards the end, but this season has been pretty like coasting for the last several weeks.
But it can't last, right? It has to break.
Well, that's the thing, but they keep teasing
otherwise.
the next episode. They keep teasing the next episode, like, which is always what they do. It's always misleading as to what actually the episode's about, and they will come to a head at some point. But again, like you said, Jeff, like Ava's got all these advantages in idol. Like how is that not being looked at as we need to, like, no one's ever said we gotta flush the idol. I don't understand.
Right.
Even from the standpoint of like Mary and Camilla and all that, why aren't they saying we gotta flush the idol? Right, like
because they're afraid. They're afraid because I think Joe and Eva are trying to play like this straightforward, honest game. We have our final 4. It's going to work like this. Don't break with the plan. And Kyle and Camilla have, especially Kyle, has just been going along with it. Right, Camilla's not technically in the group, but
It's not just Kyle though, Dave. It's everyone. It's Shaheen thinking he's
Shaheen as
smarter
well,
than
yeah.
everybody and going, Mary wants to make a move, but let's face it, I'm gonna get to the end with them and they're gonna pick me.
No, but in the same breath though, Shaheen and Kyle have both been like, I've been playing a middle game up till now and I need to make a major move. In the one episode where they could have both teamed up and made a major move. And I figured it out when we started this episode, and Dave asked me how I was feeling, and I'm loving it. And you guys are all like, "This is the worst ever." I think that I'm biased because in my fantasy game, I'm dominating with an iron fist like never before, and my MVP is Joe. So I'm sitting back like loving all of this, and it's making me not realize that it is actually a super boring season because I'm like high off my own supply. I can see it from everybody else's point of view talking about it every week. Every time I come on this show, you kind of break it down for me, and I'm back to your guys' side. I've kind of come down out of the clouds, and I can see that the whole Kyle and Camille thing is being fed to us like it's like a cops arrest situation from years past, but they haven't done a single move. They just keep going like, tee, they don't know
we're working together. Yeah,
but they haven't
No,
done
it's just
anything.
the Thomas vote, right? They're just built. They're just feeding off the Thomas vote. That was the only thing they really did, right? And
but the reality is it is what Chrissy said. They're just the top dogs are just picking people off, and the people in the middle are just going, "We're fine.
And
We're
here's
with
the
the
thing,
top
like,
dogs."
I wanted that, like, after this, how many seasons where they would just eliminate those bigger heavy hitters? Like, I was like, no, I want a little bit more, like, like battling and stuff. But it was almost like they all just laid over, like, you know what I mean? In terms of it was like a complete 180, not like a mix,
Mhm.
And in a similar fashion, like yourself, Joe, that not Joe, sorry, Jason, that like I've got both. Like, I got both Ava and Mitch on my team still in it. Right. And I'm not like, yeah, that's great and all, but it's not the same though for me. It's just like, it's exciting, but it's just like, well, like they're not I think Joe is the front runner based on what he's done in the game. Ava and Mitch are front runners in their own right with their story, what they have to overcome. But again, though, like, it hasn't there's just a lot left to be desired, I guess, what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, let me ask you this, because I think the question here is like, is anyone rooting for anyone specifically here? Now we know Becky, you said you're going for Eva and Joe.
And Eva, yeah.
And Eva, right? Joe more than Eva, or Eva more than Joe?
Joe more than Eva, because I feel like right now without the immunity, he's kind of a sitting duck. Especially with the way that they're trying to swing things. Eva seems to have enough on
She's
her
enough to go around. She can spread it. Her and Joe can share, right? So you would like to see one of them win. That would make you would say, okay, that's a satisfying end. Does anyone else have feelings like that for any particular play? Jaemeel.
Camilla, yeah. I want to win.
But okay, if you could try to remove yourself from your draft picks, because let's not be high on our own supply, as Jason was saying, right?
We have to. Like, look, like the show is not really hitting from a storytelling perspective. So
I agree with
just like how people watch NFL every week. No offense, Foster. Right? Or they watch like whatever. They got to put, they got to add some of their own spice in the game, so they have, a little bit of, skin in the game. This is my skin in the game as it stands right now, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't think I need to necessarily hide the fact that exists. The same thing happens with whatever you have, whatever you're going for, right? I wish that it was a dual situation where I had the story and also my skin in the game to enjoy. But right now, I got the skin, so that's what I'm thinking on.
So yeah, from a storytelling standpoint, there's no one you're like rooting for.
No, because it's just going to be a conclusion, not really us. Like, okay, what is the story of this season? Joe and Eva just dominating. Joe. Like, how am I super excited about this season?
Are they dominating? Like
they have every advantage under the sun, and they're good at challenges.
And the rest of the players, the rest of the players are kind of going, I don't want to get rid of them. I'm with them.
If there was Sia money on the line, they would get it.
The final four, right? Let's say if it's Camilla, Joe, Eva, and Kyle, you would have Camilla, who's won one challenge, right, and played an idol. You have Kyle, who's won one challenge
And broke a
That's
bottle on the
Huh?
first day.
right?
Oh,
Said he
yeah.
broke a bottle on the first. He broke the game
Yeah.
he was playing.
Right? And then
Right.
compared to the other side, which is, it's Joe, who's won at least 3 challenges already, and Eva, who's had almost every single power under the sun, right? Like, in comparison to those two sides, one is dominating, the other has done barely anything.
Well,
Right?
nobody's done anything this season. I'm sort of realizing there hasn't.
Well, Jason, I disagree. I think people have done something. There's just no reason to do anything more.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
What does Joe need to do? What scheming does Joe need to do?
The scene that sticks out tonight, guys, is that scene when Eva comes back from getting
Oh my gosh, yeah.
advantage, and she's mentioning to the entire tribe what happened, and basically goes, "Yeah, all you suck. I got the advantage. It's really great I got it, because if you got it, that actually would have been bad for me."
Yeah.
That's literally
I don't need it. What I'm gonna do is steal the idol from myself.
yeah.
Should have done that.
And if I was any other player on that beach other than maybe Joe, I would have been like, let's vote this girl out now.
Yeah, that's what I'm
just for that. Just for that.
She went and got the reward.
She got a reward for it.
So,
And then let her eat. I'm like, what are they doing? Like, what is this?
They're like, we're just gonna let Joe and Eva get to the end, and they're gonna win it all.
Yeah, I just want the season to be over. Let Eva wins. Like just like
Just
that's
get it
what I
out.
feel about this show. Like while I'm watching it, I'm like, why are they doing this? If I was on that beach, I felt bad for Mary tonight. I really did.
I really did. Too. She was my one that I was rooting for. I do have her on my team, but I
As did Jeff.
legitimately liked her the whole time. I thought she's got a great personality. She says funny stuff. She worked with people, but they just hated her, and I think they hated her because of all of the reasons I just said.
She was the only one I was personally rooting for from a story perspective. Like I would like to see Mary win this season just because she's fun. She's always been the underdog. She's always been on the bottom. I like to if I'm going to cheer for anyone, usually on one of these seasons, whether it be Big Brother or Survivor, it's usually the underdog. And I feel like Mary had that. Now Mary's been picked off and started last week. That it's like they gave us these 2 episodes where it's like, will they survive? Will they mount a resistance? Will they be able to sway people? There was testimonial after testimonial here tonight with Mary, talking to the other survivors, whether it be Shaheen or Kyle or even Camilla. They're like, well, maybe we'll vote out Joe. But then at the end of the day, they don't do it at all. They don't do shit. And they just kind of go, oh, no.
Dave, they even said, like, well, we're not going to be able to get even out with all the event. Like Shaheen said it, I think, at one point. He's like, oh, we're not going to be able to get them out because they have all these advantages. And then it's like, well, that's the blind side. Like, they even said it. Like, it's like, yeah, that's what you do. You make them feel like exactly what was going. Yeah, Mary. Yeah, Mary. Like, we're getting Mary out, and then you blindside her, and then boom, all those advantages leave the game. She leaves the game, and then guess what?
It doesn't leave the game technically. The idol goes back into play.
Well,
but
yes.
at the same time, now everyone's worried about being top dog. Really, that's it. Because pulling the trigger early, what ends up happening is they don't want to lead. So if Kyle and Camilla let their position be known, then Shaheen and Mitch and Mary turn against them with Eva, and they're gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the perspective. So what type of game are you really playing?
But like in the right, but you're supposing that certain players would go back to Eva. Like if Eva's out of the game, they blindside Eva
because that's what they would do, Jeff. That's their perspective.
I get what you're saying,
yeah.
But like at the same time, like why isn't like all right? Eva to me is the main target. Like she's the person. If anybody should be out in the that's who they should want.
But they all think it's Joe. They consider Joe the winner.
Eva eats every day and still has the gall to be like, she's using up all the rest of our food. That was something that got me.
Mary, yeah, she's like, Mary shouldn't eat coconut. She's not going to be here much longer.
You've
She
eaten
doesn't.
every reward.
Act is not her best suit, right? Like,
She has a buffet every day.
Yeah.
night.
Is anyone else cheering for Eva from a story perspective or just from a.
I've never seen a fight. She's the
Eva.
Yeah,
villain.
you like
It's
Eva. It's okay.
she's living up
She's
there.
like when you go back and look at The Office and look at how shitty Jim and Pam actually were. That's
Right.
kind of what is happening with Eva, where you're like, you're being terrible right now, and you don't even recognize you're doing it.
Main character energy, okay? Main character
yeah,
energy.
and she knows
time.
it.
Yeah.
She's
No,
like,
she
I'm
does-
intentional. Like, it's fine.
I agree. She does know what she's doing.
Yeah.
And like I thought Mary tonight, I think she had a confessional where she's like she literally said like, yeah, she's being completely like obviously cocky, basically, is what she said. And it's just like and then she's like, but nobody listens to me. You know? And
Nobody wants to do anything. And I think this mostly came down, from my perspective, to Camilla, who was just like, I don't trust Mary. Camilla just decided that she didn't want to deal with Mary any longer. And I feel.
This happened last episode with Mitch. Like Mitch is like, I just don't trust Star, and it's just like, what? Like, who cares? Who cares?
I love when the vote out happens and you see Star in the background just go like,
Yeah,
just lower head.
Yeah, well, there's
Like, I
also
guess-
there's often this effect, I think, that whoever has the immunity somehow is like the head of household sort of thing. It gets this little bit of direction.
didn't used to be like that.
I
yeah.
truly wonder if Mitch was even okay, like, because he voted for Mary, right? In the end,
Yeah.
yeah. I wonder if that was truly like, I think he was gunning for Joe, but when Joe had that freak out and he was sitting there and watching it, like they did some really interesting shots of Mitch, especially when like while they were eating the sushi, they would do some up close when like Eva was talking about getting out Mary, and like you kind of saw like Mitch kind of like pause, look a little concerned, but not really show his cards. Like he didn't really come out, I don't think, this episode.
Did he have a confessional?
I don't think so. But it was
Mitch-
interesting that like
Mitch had
like,
one
I feel
confessional
like
where he's like, yeah, we gotta
maybe-
get Joe.
When did the shot in the dark expire? Like at some point, was that not an option here for Mary tonight?
She already used it.
she used it,
That's how
yeah.
Yeah,
stayed in the
she
game
never had a
early
shot in
on.
the dark anymore.
She used it,
Yeah.
yeah, but she doesn't get a new one.
But she had her
No.
I feel
only
like
have-
you should. I feel like you should get a new one once you get to the merge. I feel like that would be
Yeah, she
nice.
used it early on.
And it should be a 3-sided dice, and it's a 1 in 3 chance of staying in.
That would be more fun. I think actually the 1 in 6 is a little too low odds. I think.
I do wish that there were more random hidden things around the camps, like more game pieces in the game. I do kind of
What-
wish
Here's the thing though, they
Mary
do
could have
have
found
them.
something.
They do have them. It's just that many times it never gets found, so they just never show it.
Okay. You think there's another idol out there?
No, I don't think an idol. I think all we're gonna really get this season that they haven't found already, because this technically should have been something for someone else. It just went to the wrong person. Is they're probably gonna do what in Final 5? They're probably gonna do like, oh, win this advantage so that you have a leg up in this challenge, which
Right. Yeah.
which Eva's
That's
gonna
pretty
win.
standard.
Which Eva's gonna win.
Yeah, Eva or Joe.
Or
No,
Joe.
I think Eva's gonna win that one, and then she's gonna win that challenge, have immunity, and also have safety without power.
Yeah, I feel like not taking Joe out here tonight was insane.
Me too. Absolutely. If he's my
The fact that
MVP,
he was
I like, what are you
vulnerable
talking
here,
about?
it was crazy to me that they were like, no, it's not. It's too early. But I feel like I blame Camilla mostly. For
They're
this result.
gonna get their torch snuffed, and it's like it's still too early. It's still too.
The only other like sort of logic I can come up with is that like Mary was the last member of the Vula tribe, and now we have 3 Logi, 3 Siva, sort of into this final 6.
No one cares about that. If someone voted just because she was the last Vula, and like you must have played a horrible game. If you lose,
I think too, everyone wants Joe to like them. So like they're all trying to like, the minute he freaked out too was kind of like, whoa, I don't want Joe to freak out like and get upset with me.
Well,
Yeah.
Joe's not their daddy. Like
Did Mary ruin her chances by going to Joe and telling her that she was voting for him? Because
that should have guaranteed her chances to survive.
Yeah, to see him crash out like that over the smallest thing, everybody should have been like, ugh.
Let's vote out Joe. But they don't. They don't here. Okay, like just let's. I want to talk about the challenge. I guess before we get
Foster
into
time,
which Mary did not do well in. Foster, can you talk to us about this challenge tonight with the many stages? They had the wheelbarrow with the pot, and then they had the 2 pots on the wheelbarrow, and then they had.
Have you guys ever seen this wheelbarrow part of the challenge?
No, this I hadn't seen before.
Myself. Yeah, I've never seen it before either. I thought it was a good one. I feel like it could have been like they went again testing, right? So I think there are things you could change, little minor things you could change because if other, like everyone kind of did decently with it, other than Mary. You were kind of not like what's the word I'm looking for? Like it wasn't holding you back. It was just more like patience. Sure. But it could have been a lot. I don't know. They could definitely make it a little bit more interesting to watch. I'm not sure exactly how that is in this moment, but I do like this double-sided puzzle that they always seem to forget to look at the other side.
It's unforgettable.
Where Jeff says it several times that it has to match on both sides, and like Kyle's like at the end like not understanding it, and Ava has to like literally just be like, "Hey, look, have you looked at both sides?" Right.
And Joe, you mean? I think specifically.
No, Kyle was like Kyle was for a while just standing there, like not understanding. It was one of those moments where it's like, are they really hurting that bad?
Regrettable. Was it fun for what was Joe's answer?
Betrayal.
Fun for betrayal or
what
was Joe's response? Like Joe, he's like, I got it, Jeff. Fun for betrayal or something like.
Oh yeah, something So they I think they've done this challenge before with bigger blocks. Right in the last season, I think it was. Was it this, or was it earlier this season?
46. Justice for Jessica.
This arch word puzzle. It's kind of fun to watch a little bit because it seems so difficult.
Yeah, I do like the premise of it. Again, everyone always forgets, or most of them always forget to look that there is 2 sides to it that it has to match. Excuse me, the puzzle's fine. But I feel like the wheelbarrow was just a test, or like you know what I mean. Like it was something to see like how it would work, not only in game but on screen.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing I have to say about this is I think that it was appropriate that Camilla won because the last time that this challenge was done, a Canadian was unfortunately smited by her team. # Justice for Jess. Banu and is trying to win 1 million hearts, right? Camilla brings it home for Canada. That's all I have to say about that.
Well, Camilla was an unlikely winner, I think, of this immunity challenge. Actually, I think she was kind of like I wouldn't have picked her to do it, but and Joe just has one of his blocks backwards, right? With the black side was on the one side, and he's like fair, I guess. Yeah, I did lose just by like little color variation there. It was close though, except for Mary. Mary was dead out of this challenge, which is another kind of curious thing to vote her out here because she's clearly not a challenge threat for the most part. Either here. So she was, I don't know, kind of a boring vote out. Can we just have a little look at her exit interview here and just see if there's any final thoughts on us losing Mary?
I just got voted out, and I'm proud of myself. I fought the way that I knew best until the bitter end, but I have been living on borrowed time because I think everybody was a little bit scared to sit next to me in the final 3 because they knew that I was the last Vula member standing. So I have no regrets.
She says not why they didn't vote.
They might be. I might be vindicated for my earlier comment.
No, they just were like, next one's up, you're out. Okay, next week, Mitch, or next day, Mitch, you're gone. Okay, like that's how they're doing it. Like it's not.
And the producers spent an hour and a half trying to trick us, and say Mary's not going home tonight. All this other stuff is happening, but really, I said last week I was like, oh yeah, Mary's going home next week, and then lo and behold, here we are.
I knew Mary was going home 10 minutes into this episode.
Yeah,
like Mary's going home. Like I knew it. and it did it was obvious. And
If
then
you look at
you're
last
right,
week's preview, it's very obvious. Yeah, like as
Yeah.
Jason was mentioning, it's
Yeah,
going to be her.
and you wait like 50 minutes, and then you get to it, and you're like, it was a unanimous vote, and it was just like, yeah, of course it was.
Yeah,
Are you sure it was a unanimous vote? They said that
well,
that
6-1.
Shaheen flipped.
6-1. It was Mary. Oh yeah, Shaheen voted for Mary as well.
Mary.
No, but I think that they're alluding that. Oh yeah, there was 2 votes on Joe, but there
I
wasn't.
thought there were 2 votes on Joe.
No, there wasn't.
No.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I was wrong. You're right because it was like Joe, Mary, and then that was enough.
Yeah.
When I really look at this result here, I feel like they're voting out people in order of like how much they like them.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, Dave. It's basically like this one's my friend more than this person, so but it's so hard. It's so hard to vote them out.
So hard.
So that means Mitch is definitely next.
That's friends, Jeff.
Like
That's
Kyle crying in the DR about having to like vote. Like I was like, get yourself together. Like
Pull yourself together, man. Have some dignity. Have some self-respect.
just imagine him being your lawyer, and he's
Yeah.
like, "It's so hard. It's so hard.
You're going to jail, man. I'm sorry.
yeah. I have to go talk to the judge.
The prosecutor's my best friend. I don't really want to win.
Can't lose to him. Jesus.
He's my mentor."
Yeah, well, as we mentioned, Mary's gone. Jeff's out of our draft, and there's I'm still alive with Kyle. Although Kyle, yeah, I find him really hard to vote for, like just hard to root for tonight. Even though I have him in the draft because this whole thing with him being the lawyer was so dumb, and then just.
True.
I'm like, what does he do? What are you and Camilla doing? What are you like? I get your argument, Jaemeel, for Joe. What is Joe does? Joe's playing exactly the game he should be playing.
Yeah.
But Kyle and Camilla have they're like, who did we watch on the most recent Big Brother season? It was
Mackenzie and
no, the other one, the one that was in the crochet.
Oh, you mean Acor? Acor? What's her name? I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and
her best friend,
Chemo
and Acor or something.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
They did.
And they were always like, "We're gonna do this, but they never do anything.
Yeah.
They did it, and then they lost.
There were hours of them scheming plans, and how much of it did they actually do? Zero, nothing.
Takor.
T-Core, yeah.
T-Core,
yeah.
It was sometimes British, sometimes American.
Yeah, she had like a very mixed accent. It was a whole other thing. Yeah. Okay, so now we got the final 6. So you know that everyone knows that Eva and Joe are a pair, but does anyone realize that? Okay, everyone realizes Camilla and Kyle are.
It doesn't even matter if they are or they are not. That's the whole joke of the season.
But don't you need an ally in this final 6, no matter who you are?
Not if you're not like. What I got out of this episode is Kyle's not even gonna stick with Camilla. He's gonna go to the 4 with his 4, like
with Shaheen,
and then get voted out, and then
get voted out of 4, or he thinks he's counting on winning. He thinks he can win the final 4 challenge.
He's not.
I don't even think he thinks he can win. I just think he's like, well, I get the chance.
Yeah, Jeff, he's gonna get voted off, and I did everything I could.
Good. Oh yeah, you know what? I made it to fire, and I lost to Shaheen in the fire, but you know what? I gave him my all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, then thanks for the season, Kyle. But that's not. It could have been a little bit more.
Hey, I'm a lawyer. If I got into that final 3, I would have convinced everybody. I know it.
But you didn't, because you didn't do anything. You were too afraid. You were too timid. You didn't go for it. Where was the gusto? I don't know. Okay, well, I don't know what else to say about this episode. Was there anything else we missed? Well, I'll play it on the outro with the song from Shaheen. He's never won a challenge, and he's not going to have.
I wanted some Billy Joel piano.
that was great.
Is it better than Star's rap song or
Ooh, no.
Star's rap song at the beginning is a vibe.
Mm-hmm. I only played a couple seconds of it here, but
let's see here. I said, I said, My enemies are plotting. What? My
No.
My
Okay, we got
enemies are plotting.
Whoa, what? Yeah,
That's gonna be someone's hook.
Yeah, I think she should remix with Shaheen. I think that they had a good thing going.
You know what? We're gonna look back on the season. It's gonna be the best moment of the season.
It might be the thing we always
No,
remember. What
it's gonna
Star
be the
did. My
Eva and
enemies
Joe.
are plotting.
It's gonna be the Eva and Joe embrace, and then this.
Yeah.
It might be the curse. Okay, and so let's have a look at next episode here. For see if it's anything but the obvious. If we can figure out who's getting voted out from this.
Don't freak out. Shaheen flipped.
Next time on Survivor.
We have to do our acting.
We are working the game hard.
We're acting like a in your pancakes.
Is there any chance that this is bull?
He showed me beats.
Something's cooking. The question is by who?
And then you just see Mitch just standing beside. We got to do our acting, and Mitch is like, "I'm right here."
Yeah.
Beats.
Okay. They're selling. Okay, we have to come back to this in a week because they're selling us this idea that we're gonna get a really entertaining episode here with Camilla and Kyle. They're gonna be working together to get out
Joe
Shaheen, I guess. Basically,
No.
is that
Well,
that's
or
what
They did what to his pancakes?
they pissed on his pancakes?
Yeah.
Like that's what I took. That's what I took from that preview was that they're going after Shaheen, which I don't even know if he's the right one to go. He's not the right one to go after. You want to go after?
They're gonna get Shaheen out, and everyone's gonna go, "Wow, what a move!"
Is it?
No.
They're gonna be, the plan is for Final Five that they have Mitch on their side, but once again, and that's beside if Eva even or Joe win immunity. Eva plays her idol and then gives Joe safety without power, and the three of them get to play with who of those three are going to be voted out.
Do you think they want to throw Mitch into this fire making? Potentially,
I would want to make fire against him. I wouldn't really be.
Foster. Do you think that Mitch has a legitimate chance to win this game if he gets to the end?
Yeah, I think he could. It just depends how. It really. For him, it would be about jury relationships, and he hasn't. Excuse me, done anything real game wise, but he hasn't pissed anybody off.
He hasn't pissed anybody off. Well, but I don't know. Like if he's okay, so if it's Joe and Mitch at the end, does Joe win?
Joe, Mitch, and Eva.
If it's Joe, Mitch, and Eva, does it Joe? Probably.
Joe will win.
Joe will win. Mitch,
Eva.
does Mitch?
No, Eva's gonna win.
Eva's gonna win over Joe.
I think it's like to me, it's like it's.
I wonder if Eva and Joe are actually going to turn on each other at one point.
No, they're not.
You don't know.
Joe's going to go. Eva can win. It's like my daughter winning. I'll just take second place.
I think that David and Mary might be like odd votes in this jury, though. That could vote sort of maybe not for Eva.
Joe is like a Klingon, and you got Eva's like a Vulcan.
Okay.
You know, and the rest of them are like
Ferengi.
No, they're the Packlet.
They're Maquis.
They're Packlets.
Packlets.
It is broken. We don't know what to do.
Which one is Jar Jar Binks?
Yeah, that's kind of what we're describing,
Gungan.
basically. A whole species of Jar Jar Binks.
David is Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did we talk about his salute, him standing up? We talked about this, right?
We do have to talk about it.
Like, what?
Flexing is so accurate.
The flexing, what was he going for? Like giving like Mary this incredible send off or what? Like,
here's something interesting about that. I watched a little bit of his post game interview. You can find it. There's a podcast that has people as they're voted off. They do an interview because they're all home now, I guess. And he basically was like, I didn't have anything to do with Mary. She was following me around, acting like we were playing together. And then the juxtaposition is this standing for a fallen comrade thing. It's so bizarre.
Because he has a new girlfriend. That's why
He's such a doofus. Yeah, that's right. That could be it. He's got a new girlfriend. He's like, I have nothing to do with Mary, even though I kind of shipped them for a minute. I was like,
she was just following me around all the time.
Yeah, I thought that they were going to be a thing, but I don't know. But, they have a strange energy here.
If I had a trumpet, I would have given her the
single cheer.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think that's probably the wrap for tonight. Look out here on the channel coming on Sunday, right, Jaemeel? Sunday.
Look, if you guys need to do it, you can do it. Don't worry. Last time, Jason was able to make it. This time, I might not be able to make it.
Okay,
but the beat goes
we like
on.
that. We would love to have you.
Sugar is sweet and so is honey. The beat goes on.
Okay, well, we're reviewing the Thunderbolts for anybody who's available.
I don't know.
On Sunday night. So if you're gonna see it, Jeff, you're gonna be away, I believe, for this. So going to the Magic Kingdom.
All the kingdoms.
And then we'll be back in 1 week to talk about the next episode, episode 12 of Survivor 48, titled Icarus Time. Any kind of theories there? It's Icarus Time. We just reviewed an episode called The Icarus Factor on Star Trek The Next Generation over on our Live Long in podcast channel.
Everybody's flying too close to the sun on this podcast
we
network.
find out that
Baby.
Joe slept with
This is
Pulowski. Joe slept with Pulowski. That's why. And
Riker's dad slept with Pulaski, and it's a long story, but we just reviewed that on, and we'll be on this Thursday to talk about what do we have coming up this week? I should know this. It's Star Trek: The Next Generation's episode, season 2, episode 15, Pen Pals, where Data has a friend. A friend is about to die on the planet, and should he save her? You gotta tune in to find out if she lives. She might not. Anyway, or she might. She might. Jason, what's going on Hey, did you see this one lately? You just had your birthday month. Happy birthday, belated.
Yeah,
Thank you. We completed our birthday month with a walk hard last week, 2 weeks ago, I guess. We took a week off last week, but now it's Steve's birthday. We're Steve's birthday month. He's doing 90s comfort films just like last year. And we're starting off with, I know this technically isn't a 90s movie, but we're wrapping it in because it comforts him very much. Tomorrow night, we're covering Shaft 2000, starring Samuel L. Jackson and a whole bunch of other people who I was like, why is Tony Collette and Patrick Bateman himself, Batman? Fuck, why can't I remember his name? Excuse my language. Christian Bale, thank you.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth Banks in a cameo. It's insane. The movie's nuts. The score is crazy. Besides the actual Shaft song, the actual score in the movie makes no sense, and it's a huge, big budget
Jason
thing.
I heard it's Shaft's duty to please that booty.
He says it right to a woman, and she's like, I better get my booty pleased. Nope, don't say it like that.
Has it aged well?
It's fine so far. I'm only about. I used to own it on VHS when I was a kid when it first came out, and I saw no problem with it. But there's a lot of stuff that isn't for a 15-year-old. It's an interesting film, and Samuel L. Jackson, I think that's his jump off point for saying motherfucker. So it's good stuff. Actually, no, probably more like Pulp Fiction would be that. I digress.
Pulp Fiction. Well, what's the one where he is it, or Coming to America with
he does say, does he say I don't think he says that in Coming to America. I think he just tells him F you.
He's like the robber in the McDonald's, the Whack-Donald's or whatever it is.
Stealing from Louis Anderson.
Anderson, that's right.
McDowell's.
Well, at any rate, it's Steve's birthday month, and we're doing 90s comfort, and that's tomorrow night right here on Twitch and Facebook and YouTube and everywhere you get your podcasts at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Happy birthday to Steve. Happy birthday to Steve. Okay, well, and check out Live Long on Podcast also on Mondays. We also are doing Hate for All Mankind right now. If you're into that show. If you've not watched it, you should.
Yes. You might get surprise costume changes because Heather
Narduzzi is coming in. She was Wayne Cobb in our most recent one. It's a lot of
She
fun.
like dressed up. She had a mustache and everything.
Yeah, she had paints all over her clothes. She was smoking doobies and drinking what was it, mezcal. So she was going for the whole vibe, and it was great.
Yep.
Okay, well, guys, good night. Thanks to Becky, Jaemeel, Jeff, Josh, and Jason. We'll see you next time here on Super Mario Brothers Podcast, and we'll leave you with a song from Shaheen. Just if he could just win one challenge, it will all be okay.
Win just one challenge. Make this game yours. It's the only sure way to survive one more night. Win just one challenge for fam and for friends. But if you can't win a challenge, Jeff puts out your light. Ah.